we're back. I can even turn the mic on. There we go. Daytime. Oh, I think we were going to loot this place first, so let's do that.
Sure I can carry much more.
Hey Rena, good to see you. I got to see Skylar last night and today. Good.
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Oh no, that's too bad. Work drama or family drama? Or just living in US drama? Ooh. You're moving out. This is big. This is big. We should probably have a chat then sometime soon. I mean, that's a big thing, yeah. 10. We'll find that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm certain that's a longer conversation.
And this pack is getting kind of heavy. I'm gonna need to rest soon.
Okay, now I'll take a short couple-minute break here. Well, wasn't even a couple minutes. That was quick. Okay. Okay, I think we're doing pretty good now. Back to 20.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Okay, now a brief pause. Okay, we're back. Back in business. Okay.
I'll take it.
So there was a job posting a couple days ago. Really, yesterday is when I saw it. For a position at my university in the Emerging Technology Lab, Emerging Media Lab. Which is precisely... Look at all these.
Barely walked with this much gear.
Which is precisely the type of role that I simultaneously probably could do, and also at the same time do not want to get pigeonholed into doing. Because basically it's a developer role. And also the one area that I would have a big gap in is I do not have any experience developing for Unity, which is one of the requests. So, but I did pass it on to my friend Skylar, who might actually be a slightly better fit. So we'll see. We'll see if Skylar said he would put an application in, and we'll see if he gets the position. Pays good.
Why didn't that work? Come on, little fire. Come on.
I don't know. I may put an application in as well, but
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
oops. But there's a part of me, a big part of me, that really doesn't want to go back into a developer role. The only concern is I'm not certain. Oh, I forgot to add fuel. That was a waste. Rookie mistake. Start the fire, forget to add the fuel.
Come on, little fire.
But yeah, talking to my friend Skylar, I kind of realized that I have many of the skills that would probably work as a project manager. And which then makes me think, you know, should I be applying for those type of roles instead? It's not truly a developer role. But yeah, like, if it's something Hinterland needs, I could work for Hinterland as a project manager.
gonna be able to carry this load for much longer. I can barely walk with this much gear.
But yeah, that could be interesting. I've yet to do that, yet to put in reach out to Hinterland. We have kind of an application or their careers page says like if you feel like you would have a if you have skills or ability to join us but don't see anything offered that matches. Oh, we were just here. This is the wrong way. I was like thinking this is the wrong way. But yeah, so even if there's no positions listed, they're still interested in people that might be able to add to their workplace, their teams. So, although part of me is not really interested in going back into game dev, maybe there's something adjacent that would work. A role where I'm not a programmer, but can be part of the creative team in some other way. Yeah, I'm not working for exposure, because all that gets you is just like the long dark, death by exposure. Okay. Clearly we're not meant to go and get that chest. If you're new here and just lurking, we're doing a challenge called You Know Nothing, Astrid, in which we play a completely randomized Interloper Plus challenge. So that means we take the custom settings and we randomize them using a settings randomizer thing that I wrote. And then having already done those randomizations and collected a bunch of different codes based on them, we then go through and enter one of those codes randomly selected. So many fish. Another deer, a wolf. Let's see if this works.
Is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay. Let's hop over here and pick up another fish.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Guess we could carve out the guts here. Yeah, it wasn't quite working for exposure, but this week I definitely worked more hours than I got paid for. Just sort of a situation where we had something that needed to get finished up, and I just ran out of authorized work hours, so I just had to work it off the books. But honestly, it kind of balances out, because there are definitely some days where I feel like I'm spinning my wheels and not making very much progress on something. Yet I'll still build those hours. You know, I'm doing my best. It's just not necessarily advancing as quickly as I need it to. And then other days when I just have to pull in extra hours to make something work. So I discovered something recently. Um, I've been wondering why my room has been awfully warm the last couple weeks. And then I discovered it was the fan I had in the room. Had been running for so long, it was actually heating up the room. And so the very thing that was supposed to cool the room was actually heating the room. So the moment I turned off the fan, not immediately, but like within like half an hour, the room got cooler. I was like, yeah, so not relying on that fan again.
Barely walk with this much gear.
Okay. Got all this meat here. Let's So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do next here. We're at, we'll probably break day 40 on this stream. I'm not going to stream too super late tonight. It'll be a relatively short stream. We might go, let's see, about 45 minutes now.
Out here. Time to look for shelter.
Might go for an extra half an hour, 45 minutes. So basically, that will take us probably up to day 40. And then we'll just basically have 2 streams left to get to day 50. So what do we do? What do we do next stream? Where are we going? I think this stream we're going to work our way back to the Quonset and do a little bit more crafting. Maybe we'll go hunt the bear next time. So yeah, I also heard from one of my D&D friends from LA who he and his family are in the process of moving to Vancouver Island. And so he was flying today with their kids and their cat and was able to pick up their keys to the house. So, it's real. They made it here.
This will come in handy.
Okay, let's see here. Lots of meat. Yeah, I'm just not really excited about the pill popping pilgrim challenge. I mean, nothing against people that have been doing it. I just not really. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe it's just not my type of challenge. Like, I also haven't done Wolf Wrangler. Look at us. We picked up another box of crackers. What are we at now? 38 days. I was supposed to have a coordination meeting tonight for one of my other responsibilities, and I looked over an earlier meeting that we had this week with part of the team, and had recognized that really there was nothing to discuss with the larger team that couldn't just be resolved by sending out like a text message or an email with the information. So it's like there's no point in having this meeting. There's no big issues to discuss right away, so updates were simple. It's like, yeah, we don't have to have this meeting today. I hate having meetings for the sake of having meetings. I mean, it's a trap that I feel like a lot of managers fall into, where they feel that they're not busy unless they're holding meetings, and so they require all these additional meetings. And it's like, you know what? Those meetings mean nothing. Especially if they're an impediment to people getting their work done. Or they're performative. They're just there to say, like, yeah, we held a meeting. It's like, so are we tracking meetings or are we tracking something else? Yep. I was explaining to someone else that I am someone that does not aspire to leadership and does not want management responsibilities. It's not that I don't have the abilities to do them, I just don't really enjoy them. So I am a reluctant manager, but I will manage if I need to. I'll manage to manage, right? That's kind of useless. We'll drop that one. No, The Reluctant Manager should be my best-selling book on management. I really probably could write a best-selling book on management for the sake of someone would buy that with that title. And most of it will be about how you shouldn't actually this is I mean, to me, it's mostly common sense. It's so you lead by example, and you lead with compassion, but you establish sort of clear expectations. You abide by, you standardize, you keep standards and principles firm. So you don't waver from them. You don't make exceptions. You don't play favorites. I like sort of like when I run workshops or classrooms, something I've started to do is we have an initial 10 or 20 minutes in which we okay. My friend Skylar's going off driving north to a campsite. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, I said, yeah, just to let you know where I'm headed in case anything happens. I was like, wow, okay. It is unfortunately a precaution that I know some of my friends, some of the girls I know, have to do on a regular basis is notify their roommates or their friends if they're going someplace new and they're just not certain about it. It just becomes a standard thing they do. And it makes me sad that that is the reality we live in, where that is the safe and responsible thing to do, because you cannot trust people around you. Like, that's sad.
Wonder if I can drop any of this.
But in his case, he's worried about getting lost, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's not like the Canadian Bermuda Triangle or anything like that, so it's not going to be a freak storm and then he'll disappear and it'll just be an empty boat or something. In a full moon with an aurora. Yeah, exactly. That's all you should worry about. Okay. It's daytime. Yeah, we could tear these guys up too. Okay. So we got lots of cloth now.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Oh, I see. So part of his concern, he just sent me another message. Part of his concern is that the valley where he's going to for this festival has no Wi-Fi. Has no cell phone service. It's like that. Yeah, that's not me. Not me.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
It would be really useful to have a workbench a little bit more convenient to this side. I mean, I guess the log sword over there maybe is the option. It's the outdoor one. Actually, no, I guess it's over here. There is a workbench over here. Just have to deal with the possibility of getting a bear. Yeah, I know, it's a setup for a classic horror movie, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's very scenic. All the pictures look great. The brochure looks great. We're so lucky to have this opportunity to camp in this pristine place that not many people know about. Only problem is there's no cell phone service in the area, but that shouldn't be a problem. It'll be nice to be cut off from the world for a little bit. The only place we can get cell phone reception is at the top of this mountain. Or in this rickety old abandoned mansion. Now we probably should light a torch. Tomorrow night, I think tomorrow night we're on schedule to play another. My Sunday night campaign is going to continue, and this one we have a new DM. Well, she's been DMing for the last couple weeks, but it'll be fun not to be the DM. And then I have my Friday night group, formerly Wednesday night, originally Friday night, returning to Friday night this September. And we are getting ready to kick off a new campaign. I sent them 5 different campaign ideas, some of which I've done before, some of which are going to be brand new. And we're waiting to see what people choose. But so far, it seems that interest has been piqued in doing one where everyone starts off as members of a disbanded, a disbanded circus troupe, where something tragic has happened to the ringleader. Combined with bankruptcy, and now they're all trying to make ends meet. So this way, there's like a common backstory for the characters, but they can also like really embrace what it is, what kind of role that they have within the circus. And then I give them a mysterious chest that they inherit that may hold a secret or maybe some sort of clue about where they can restart their fortunes. Hey, Lady Sunfire, welcome in. Guess we can give you a shout out here. Don't know if you're streaming, but we'll give you a shout out. Why did it go? Did it not go? Oh, looks like we have to re-log into this and see if CloudBot is rebooted. Logging out. Okay. Oh, so all that to get it working again, and okay, so here we go. We'll do at least this. So this is the challenge we're doing right now, and this is a little bit about myself. I think we need to pull some new torches here.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
So yeah, I'm a Canadian streamer based in Vancouver, BC. I'm a writer. I'm a former computer games programmer. I am a published author and longtime TLD player. Been a long time D&D player and DM. So we kind of talk about all sorts of things on this channel. We read poetry. We talk about games. We talk about literature. Talk about film and anime. Talk about the cultural history of artificial intelligence and its roots in the 19th century imagination. Which is basically my PhD dissertation was on that. So. Okay. I mean, we could do some work here.
this much gear.
Okay, let's dump as much as we can that we don't need. These ones are fresh.
This stuff will come in handy.
I think we're good for a cloth right now, so we're not going to worry about that.
Hope nobody needs this anymore. This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay. There's another hammer. We don't need it, but
Come on, little fire. I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
oh, we can't make any new arrows. So we don't have any shafts ready. We should have dropped the rest of our food here. Well, so that was kind of unnecessary. I was going to make some fire hardened arrows, and I remembered there's nothing for me to shoot with them. Because on this custom run, we have somehow ended up without a rabbits or ptarmigan, so the fire hardened arrows are useless.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Hmm.
I need to find a place to rest.
Okay. Yeah, we get to day 40 as promised.
I need to find something to drink.
Oops.
What a way to die.
What?
I just want to die.
Looks like we get 10 hours of rest. Yeah, we'll probably go go for another 15 minutes.
Not sure I can carry much more.
No sign of bear.
Come on, little fella. Come on. See if I can drop into this sphere.
Okay, let's see what kind of trouble we have out here. So I saw something unexpected on social media earlier today on Threads. I saw that someone I don't know, had posted an excerpt, a couple lines from one of my poems. Which I love. I love seeing my work out there, like someone else has discovered it and something connects with them and they want to share it with other people. I thought that was pretty cool. Totally unexpected. Especially given, like, it was a poem from Babbage's Dream. So that was out in 2017. So that's like 8 years ago. And someone's still connecting to those poems. Did you hear the aurora noise? Little chiming. Not going anywhere.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah, thankfully that's not what they quoted. No, they quoted something from the Frankenstein poem. Which I remember writing those lines and thinking, ooh, I really like where this is going. I thought this is like one of those examples of a poem that seems to be about one thing, but is really about something completely different. Except for that thing that's completely different really is perhaps underlying the original thing. Which is, I don't know, we'll read the Frankenstein poem, I guess, tonight as a wrap up. Go out, eat some meat.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Okay, we should gather our things and get out of here.
if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, so we're currently sitting at day 41. I think we'll just save this here. So we only have 9 days left in this challenge, so that's 2 streams, hopefully. Yeah, let's read a poem. New Fallout tabletop story on Mondays. One of the adventures of low intelligence superman. Okay, classic. Yeah, so let's find, as requested, a poem from a friend. Oh, ooh. I think I had some new poems come in. Just a second. Okay. I have not read this yet, so I cannot tell you. This will be kind of a shot in the dark. Something that... Okay, this is from Mia Ayumi Malhotra's Mother Salt, published by Alice James Books. So this is her second book of poetry. Her first book is Sako Isako. Was a California Book Award finalist and winner of the Nautilus Gold Award, the Alice James Award, National India Excellence Award, and Maine Literary Award. That's pretty amazing, right? And yeah, the second book I have been looking forward to. And it delves into, well, partly it draws on her experiences as a new mother and kind of how navigating the changes, just like a wide range of changes, how that impacts the body, impacts the world around you, impacts sort of the dynamics of relationships. But anyways, this is a poem entitled Sheltering. Ready or not, here we are. We've been lost and found, gone underground. We've been stuck in the mud, pounded flowers to pulp. We've traced ourselves in chalk, watched our bodies turn to brilliant dust. Something comes into the world calling disorder, disorder, ordered home. We're baking. You peer into the oven. I don't know how much longer, I say, lost too in this indeterminable landscape. Around us, the death toll rises. The pandemonium, you call it. Enculturation, they say, bringing a child into language from raw and unformed to browned. Somewhere in the desert, my great-grandfather lifts a stone from a dry creek bed. Sway, which means water. Seiseki, as in viewing stones. He touches the rough, chiseled edges, gently sets it on end. For days he contemplates its dimensions. A desolate island, perhaps, a blueprint of some past or future grief. How many times have we made life from dust? Unearthed, we found the white of bones, sound of singing. At the end of my suffering there was a door. One day we will re-enter the house of the living. You chant rhymes, write your name for the first time. It's spring again. With your sister, you pick wild irises with gold veins, bellflowers with red and yellow striations. Your bodies, so beloved, sometimes I mistake one or the other, climb into bed beside me. I was once afraid. I still am. But every night the sun sets, and in the gloaming, a star, or is it light from a plane, blinks on. And that was Sheltering, which obviously is a reference to the pandemic. From Mother Salt by Mia Ayumi Malhotra. And I promised I'd read the Frankenstein poem. So this comes from Babbage's Dream, my second book of poetry. And it is a poem that is inspired by Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which I spent a whole chapter. I devoted a whole chapter of my dissertation on 19th century artificial intelligence to thinking about Frankenstein's creature and kind of what we learned from that novel about the voice of the created other. This is Frankenstein's creature bids farewell to its maker, which is at the end of the story. Victor Frankenstein dies, and the creature takes the body, puts it on a pyre and lights it, and this is in the far north. So I imagine, what would it finally say to its creator, Victor Frankenstein? What was I ever to you but a ghost, a phantom of dissembled lives, not yours, not mine, but stolen part and parcel from the grave? And now you lie, a corpse, silent, cold, and pale upon the unlit pyre, the kindling ready to catch flame, while I remain alone at last, unburdened of every name you branded upon my brow. In life you could not see someone other than yourself mirrored in the conflicted soul that strains within this ghastly frame. I was always your creature, your demon twin and shackle mate. But standing here amid the dark and final night, the vast unbroken howling wind, I reject it all and dispossess myself of your hate. I refuse to live a life defined by others' stories, their mythic fears, their need for a shadow to call their own, to cast themselves in light. Who wishes to live as the antagonist always? I am the terrible master of my fate, my face the beauty that I own. I will not remonstrate my part, but claim the title of monster to my very core, for here in the white nothing of this domain, this deafening blankness of frigid space, I sign my name, my secret name, across the horizon's line. I write myself anew, and make whatever legend that trails behind me mine. Your story ends here. A final spark, then smoke that ascends into the void. But mine grows bolder with each telling, consumes the heart, plays the stage, stumbles onward, a grand machine, a god of unspeakable dreams, unstoppable, unbreakable, alive, awake. So the poem really is kind of this thinking about the fact that when you read the novel closely, you realize that most of the ways in which the creature is constructed or presented is through the lens of Victor Frankenstein's own fears, of the society's whether the creature himself tries to insert himself into these narratives or identifies himself with these different narratives, or Victor Frankenstein tries to assign him a particular role. Like Victor Frankenstein will call him his Adam. It's trying to put him into the Adam Eve Garden of Eden sort of origin of man, within that Judeo-Christian tradition, or you know, um, thinks about him in terms of Milton's Paradise Lost, or thinks about him in all these different ways, like that the creature is some terrible reminder of Victor Frankenstein's sin or transgression, his hubris, his pride, and therefore his sole definition is in relation to Victor Frankenstein. And the creature says, look, I am my own person. I don't have to be this. There's a point in the story where the creature finally says, look, I don't want to be, always defined in terms of your terms. He says, I'm going to try to tell my own story. He says, in fact, Victor Frankenstein initially says, I'd like to listen to you, but I cannot look at you without horror, and I'm afraid I won't hear your story. And so the creature finally says, look, cover your eyes and just listen. It's just just close your eyes and just listen, and I will tell you about my experience and what I tried to become and why I have chosen now to become a monster. And the funny thing, the interesting thing about the word monster is it comes from the French word monstre. And this monstre is the same root as demonstrate. Or as I use in the poem, remonstrate, which is also it's a remonstrate is to regret. So remonstrate my part. I will not remonstrate my part. I will not regret my part. But the monstre means to show. And so a demonstration is to show or reveal. A remonstration is to contemplate with regret, the revelation of your mistake, right? And he will not dig that up to reveal his mistake because he doesn't believe he's a mistake anymore. What is his beauty? What is he showing? Well, he's showing in some sense who he really is, but he's also revealing just how broken and how foolish humanity is, how hypocritical humanity is. They say all these things are available, society, belonging, recognition for your merits, you will be recognized for your merits. And he says, that wasn't my experience. It's the moment they saw me as a monster. So why not? Why not become that monster? Because there, at least, he can be fully his own person. So so that's kind of the tragedy of the creature. So the part of the poem that someone quoted and was sharing online was let's see, what was it? I refuse to live a life defined by other stories, their mythic fears, their need for a shadow to call their own, to cast themselves in light. And I think that really does resonate with a lot of people who kind of have grown up in societies or families or situations that have felt abusive in the ways in which narratives, names, identities have been pushed onto them, which they don't feel they really connect with. They're just being asked to play a role that they don't feel they are, or they're saddled with a name or with an expectation that is not who they are. And so and whether that's people projecting onto them, and like it says in that line, it says to cast themselves into light. It's people do this. They create villains, they create enemies so that they can look like they are in the righteous path. So when people are adamant about there being, that someone is inherently evil or wrong, their determination to call someone evil or bad is almost always rooted in a desire to show themselves as being the righteous or the good. This is different than like a humble, compassionate view of the world in which one recognizes that, that there is none of us who is perfect and good on our own merits, that we all have flaws, and that should not lead to division, but rather to compassion and patience with each other. So I think that's kind of the key here, is to move against sort of this divisive needing to find an enemy, to instead looking with compassion at others and recognizing our own weakness. So here ends the lesson and the sermon. Anyways, kind of waxed a little philosophical there, but I do feel like the Frankenstein piece is definitely more in that vein of getting a little bit more philosophical. And if you listen to it, it definitely is probably one of the most 19th century feeling pieces. It's definitely got a cadence that would kind of be like Poe, kind of like someone else from the 19th century, because it is literally that voice of a 19th century character. Okay. Let us find someone to raid, and then I will get some sleep. And I will be back on Tuesday. Pita. Doing nope. Lots of people I don't know. Zorstride Kevin. First attempt at new to Interloper, day 23. Okay, this sounds like a good person to drop in on. We can be supportive. They're also on the verge of dying, which is fine. Yeah, we did go over time. Oh well. Okay, so we're gonna head on over there, support a new streamer. I don't know a new streamer, but new to TLD. Newish to TLD. Yeah, let's hang out over there. We'll be back on Tuesday. Take care until then.